I just knocked over my cane. Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I'm your host, Angelina Wilson, and this is the preview for 70s September. I don't have any, updates yet. But I do have a full of cases. So, let's get started. First, I'm going to do the cases that are the regular Monday and Wednesday cases that will go by the theme. Then, I will do the Doe Fridays. We have Helen Betty Osborne. She was a First Nations Cree Indian girl from the Pa, Manitoba, which is a reservation, who was murdered on November 13th, 1971 at the age of 19. Her case actually had a movie because of the discrimination. It was absolutely appalling. When I first found out about the movie and sat down and watched it, I was thinking about the fact that Roddy Piper grew up on that a portion of his childhood on that reservation, because his father was a police officer for the reservation. They would move him because he was a national policeman. They would move him to different places, and one of the places was the Pa, and so I was interested in that regard, and it was horrifying the way that those people were treated just because of who they were. And there were a couple of good cops that didn't let it go. Didn't let the biasness and the racism, quite frankly, stop them from investigating a murder. So, I definitely, when I do that case, if I can find it, I will try to find a link to the movie about the case. Martin Allen. Oh, and when I said that I thought I had mostly females, I was wrong. Disappeared from Hornsey, I almost said Michigan, Hornsey, England, on 11/1/79. That's November 1st. He was just 15 years old. Lori Lloyd was 14 years old when she vanished from a babysitting job on February 11th, 1976 in Kettering, Ohio. Yeah, we got a couple of missing out of Kettering, Ohio. And a murder. Anyway, her case connects to the first Doe Friday that we're doing. I think it's the first one, right? Yeah. I wanted to do them kind of back to back, so she'll be the Wednesday, and then the Doe Friday will follow her. Because they think it's her, but they only did it by dental records, and that's not always 100% accurate. Family has accepted it, but they need to do DNA to be sure, in my opinion. We'll go over all of that. James Hendricks and Kimberly Mills were both murdered in Pemiscot, Michigan, and Blytheville, Arkansas, respectively, by the same killer. They were both found on March 30th, 1970. Oh no. I'm sorry. June 17th, 1978. I was looking at the cases below. Oy, oy, oy. Case below is Tiffany Wise and Brandy Summers. They were kidnapped from their San Bernardino, California home, and their mother was brutally murdered on March 30th, 1977. Their younger sibling was left unharmed, as she was only 8 months old and couldn't identify the killer, which was believed to be the mother's ex-husband, the father of one of the girls. She was remarried to Summers, and he came home to find his wife brutally murdered and the kids missing. I don't think he ever got over it. The former Sumter South Carolina does. James Freud. No. Freund. Freund. 30. And Pamela Buckley, 25. Found on August 9th, 1976, again, Sumter, South Carolina. Their murder is not solved, so I wanted to talk about them now that I have names, and because we talked about them as does, I'm pretty sure, at one point. Mia, and Anjarius. Anjiras. Now, J is an H sound in Hispanic names. That's why I'm saying Anjarius. Age 14, from Norwalk, Connecticut, on the 12th of February, 1976. Michael McCool, age 14, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on June 28, 1978. Here's something funny. I Googled his name because I found a lot of these on a list of missing in the 70s. That's how I kind of found the 70s. And when I highlighted and Googled his name, it brought up wrestler Michelle McCool. That is her real name. But, yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a boy that's been missing from Philadelphia since 1978. And underneath it, it said, look, search instead for Michael McCool. So I clicked on that, and it gave me all kinds of living people. So I had to write missing on the end of it. It was kind of funny. Corey Saig, Sayegh. I'm sorry, Carrie Saig, Cary. Sayegh, was 14 when he went missing from Las Vegas, Nevada, on October 25th, 1978. Now, the Doe Fridays. The Grant County, Kentucky Jane Doe. That's the one they think is Lori Lloyd. We'll get into it because I want to see other things that might be the same or different about them. Height, hair color, things like that. Here's a heartbreaker. Sorry, I got my hand caught in my clothing and wrenched my wrist. The Honolulu John Doe, July 29th, 2000. He was between the ages, hold your hats, of 7 and 10. He's believed to be Polynesian. He was found at Kaina Point off of the Farrington Highway. And fishermen found him in sand dunes. The Perry County Jane Doe, or the girl in the turquoise jewelry, was found on June 28, 1979, in Watts Township, Pennsylvania. The Santa Fe, New Mexico Jane Doe was found near the Las Vegas Highway in Santa Fe, New Mexico, by campers. She was referred to in the autopsy report as a pubescent teen. She was found on December 2nd, 1974. I actually have the entire autopsy report and police report, the entire file. That's why my files for this month are in here, because I have the entire file. 4 parts stapled together. It's insane. It won't fit in my clipboard. It just won't. Because this is 70 September because of that file. I put her last because I still have a lot of work to do going over that autopsy report, criminal file, all of it, to, the case file, all of it, to have a clue what I'm talking about. I know that the coroner stated that she was pubescent. She had not finished developing. She was on her chest, her breasts were at what he called the late budding stage, which meant they were still developing, but they were later in their development. So she was probably 14, 15 years old, maybe. I would say between 13 and 15. Although she was late stage. So maybe, yeah, because you're pretty much developed by the time, but by the time you're 15 or so, 14, 15, you're developed as you're going to be, as far as your chest is concerned. Maybe 15 you're developed as you're going to be, but she was in the late developing stage, so I put her between 13 and 15. I will see if I can find what their range was for her. But yeah, I have the entire report. I'm also going to have to, another reason I made it the last one is because I'm going to have to figure out a way to word some of the things that happened to her in a way that YouTube won't get mad about. Because she was murdered by another person, although we don't know who. And the way that the way her life was taken, I have to figure out a way to say without upsetting YouTube, and also things that happened to her at the time that her life was taken are things that YouTube really, really, really doesn't like. So, So, yeah. So I made that one last. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys.